Hi everyone, today is 16th March 2023 and this is today's The Hindu newspaper's editorial article. The article is Sharp Divides. This article is basically about AUKUS Pact and its geopolitical importance. So before we start analysis of today's article, I would like to request all of you who are watching my videos, if you like my videos, then please do subscribe my channel, share my videos and hit like button. It will motivate me a lot in creating more such videos in coming days. Okay, so on that note, let's start reading the article. The joint appearance by the leaders of the United States, the United Kingdom and Australia at the naval base point Loma, US this week, and their detailing about their AUKUS trilateral defense pact are significant in optics and substance. Suggesting a new chapter in the global great power rivalry. So just this week, a joint naval meeting that was held. It was held in Naval Base Point Loma, which is located in America, which is located in United States of America. Okay, so who were the parties of the meeting? One was United States of America itself. The second one was United Kingdom, and the third one was Australia. So these three nations met. The meeting was held in among these three nations. Okay, and what was the meeting about? The meeting was about AUKUS trilateral defense pact. Okay, the meeting was about AUKUS trilateral defense pact, and this meeting grabbed a lot of attention from other world powers, other nations. Okay, because this meeting has a very crucial implication, or this meeting is going to be a very important chapter or very important step in current geopolitics, and specifically in the geopolitics of Indo-Pacific region. Okay, so why it is going to why it is important in the context of Indo-Pacific region, that we will be discussing in this video. Okay, so next, there will be three phases in the agreement in the Indo-Pacific region. First announced in September 2021, beginning this year, the US and the UK navies will embed Australian personnel and increase port visits to Australia to train together. So the first data that we are getting is that this AUKUS pact, this trilateral pact, it was first announced in September 2021. Okay, so before we proceed any further, I would like to share some important information about this AUKUS pact. First, what does AUKUS mean? Okay, so A means Australia, UK means United Kingdom, and US means United States of America. So this AUKUS pact is actually a trilateral pact which is signed by these three nations: Australia, United Kingdom and United States of America. The second one is when it was formed. It was formed in 2021. Okay, it was formed in 2021. Then what was the primary objective of this AUKUS pact? The primary objective is to assist Australia acquiring nuclear powered submarines. Okay, so this nuclear powered submarines will be Virginia class submarine. This is an important information that you can note down. These nuclear powered submarines will be Virginia class submarines. Okay, currently these Virginia class submarines are in use in United States Naval Force. Okay, US Navy. They are currently using this type of submarines. So what are the existing submarines of Australia? What type of submarines are they? So the existing submarines of Australian Navy is the diesel electric submarines. Okay, and they are called Collins class submarine. The existing submarines of Australian Navy, Royal Navy of Australia, those are diesel electric type of submarines, and they are called Collins class submarine. Okay, so this diesel electric Collins class submarine will be replaced. They will be substituted by this nuclear powered Virginia class submarine. Okay, why this pact was signed? The actual motive behind this pact is to keep check on growing power of China's naval presence in Indo-Pacific region by assisting Australian Navy to deploy nuclear nuclear class submarines in South China Sea. As you know that in the South China Sea region, in the Indo-Pacific region, China is growing its influence. In last few years, China has increased their military presence, their naval presence, their air power presence in this region by a lot. Okay, so to counter China's presence in this region, to keep a check on China, what US is doing, US and UK, they are assisting Australia so that Australian nuclear powered submarines can be deployed in South China Sea region. Okay, so the main motive is to keep a check on China. Next, in the second phase, US and UK nuclear submarines will travel rotationally to Australia, and the US will sell Australia up to 5 nuclear powered Virginia class submarines. So this is what I already told you, that the submarines that will be sold to Australia by United States, those will be Virginia class submarines. Okay, those will be Virginia class submarines. And in the second phase, US and UK nuclear submarines, they will travel rotationally to Australian Navy, to shores of Australia. Okay, and this is the next step in the AUKUS pact, the AUKUS summit. Okay. Subsequently, a new submarine called the SSN Opus will be built and used by all three navies with interoperable workings. Okay, so the next step after selling these 5 nuclear powered submarines to Australia, it will be manufacturing SSN AUKUS submarines. Okay, so what does SSN means? It means submersible ship nuclear. Okay, I am writing it down. It means submersible ship nuclear. You should remember it. This is submersible ship nuclear. Okay, so this SSN AUKUS submarines will be jointly manufactured, and then they will be used by all three navies: US Navy, UK Navy and Australian Navy. Next, the biggest for Australia, using British design and US technology, is expected to cost $368 billion. So this deal, the deal for Australia, that they will be buying 5 nuclear powered submarines from US, and these submarines will be British design and US technology. So this deal will cost Australia a whopping $368 billion. Okay. Another information that you should know is that these Virginia class submarines are manufactured by, so this company, General Dynamics Electric Boat, this is an American company, and they manufacture this Virginia class submarines. Okay, they manufacture this Virginia class submarines. It is not hard to imagine who the target of such an alliance is. In his speech, UK leader Rishi Sunak said that the most recent challenges to the world have come from Russia's illegal invasion of Ukraine, China's growing assertiveness, and destabilizing behavior of Iran and North Korea. So Mr. Rishi Sunak, Prime Minister of UK, what he has said is that what are the most crucial geopolitical challenges world is facing right now, and according to him, these challenges are: number 1, Russia's illegal invasion of Ukraine; number 2 is China's growing influence and growing military influence, military power in this Indo-Pacific region, and not only Indo-Pacific region, in other regions also; and the destabilizing behavior of Iran in West Asia and North Korea also. Okay. The new alliance is seen as a counter to China exerting its claims on Taiwan, with the idea that a naval fleet including nuclear powered submarines based in Australia would be able to reach the South China Sea quickly. So the actual motto behind this AUKUS pact, that is very clear, is that it is actually these three countries are trying to keep a check on China, because in last few years China has increased their presence in this South China Sea by manifold. And also China has a claim on Taiwan. China thinks that Taiwan is a integral part of Chinese mainland. Okay. And there is a concern in US and other countries also that China could attack Taiwan and try to unify it with the mainland China anytime. So to counter China in the South China region, in the Asia Pacific, in the Indo-Pacific region, this AUKUS summit has taken place. This AUKUS pact was signed, and now all these steps that assisting Australia getting such nuclear power submarines and then manufacturing submarines, all these are planned to keep a check on China. Predictably, Beijing's opposition has been the toughest, a wrong and dangerous path. While Russia has raised questions over nuclear proliferation, as Australia would join a group of countries that use nuclear powered submarines. So, what is the reaction from China? Obviously, China does not want to be suppressed by US or US America's alliance in the Asia Pacific region, in the Indo Pacific region. Okay, they do not want to be controlled, they do not want to be contained or suppressed. So obviously their reaction was what the path Australia is going, the path US and UK provoking Australia, the way this AUKUS pact is going, this is a wrong and dangerous path. That's what China's reaction is. Okay, what kind of reaction Russia has given? Obviously everyone knows that Russia and China both are very close friends. Okay, and they are interdependent on each other, and they are very close allies. So obviously Russia has also raised questions about nuclear proliferation treaty, NPT, and they are raising concern that how come Australia will join the group of countries that use nuclear powered submarines. Okay, here is an important information. There are currently 6 nations that have nuclear powered submarines. So currently USA, Russia, China, UK, France and India. Only these 6 countries in the world have nuclear powered submarines. Okay, and India, our country, we have one nuclear powered submarine in service, that is INS Arihant. Okay, this is already in service, and there is another nuclear powered submarine which is yet to be commissioned. That one will be INS Arighat. This is an important information that INS Arihant is a nuclear powered submarine that India have. It is already in service, and the upcoming one is INS Arighat. And there are only 6 countries in the world who have nuclear powered submarines. Okay, so the next is, while US President Joe Biden insisted the submarines would be nuclear powered but non-nuclear armed, Russia and China are expected to raise concerns over any violation of the non-proliferation treaty regime at a meet between Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow. So these nuclear powered submarines, they are not treated as a nuclear weapon. Okay, only the running facility or the technology that is being used in these submarines are nuclear powered, but that does not mean that this submarine is capable to launch nuclear attack. Okay, or this does not mean that there is any nuclear warhead in launch, there is any nuclear warhead that is installed or can be launched from these submarines. This does not mean that. Okay, so the argument that US President Joe Biden is giving is that they are only selling nuclear powered submarines to Australia. Okay, so the technology these submarines will be using, that is only nuclear powered, but that does not mean that these submarines can be used for any nuclear attack. Okay, these submarines will not be carrying any nuclear warhead. Okay, or the technology cannot be used by Australia to develop any nuclear weapon in future. So that is the argument Joe Biden is giving behind selling this nuclear powered submarines. Okay, but obviously the rivals, who are the rivals? Rivals are China and Russia, and they are not happy, they are not satisfied with this kind of explanation. So the issue they will be raising is about the 1968 non-proliferation of nuclear weapons treaty, that NPT treaty. Okay, 1968 non-proliferation of nuclear weapons treaty. So what does this treaty say? This treaty says that any nuclear armed state will not be assisting any non-nuclear state to develop or arm with any kind of nuclear weapon. So the nuclear armed states will not be helping any non-nuclear state to develop any kind of nuclear weapon in future. That's what the treaty says. Okay, total 190 countries have signed this treaty. They have signed this NPT, and Australia is also a signatory of this treaty. Okay, so here we should also know a few points about this NPT. Okay, this NPT treaty. So what is this NPT? This is non-proliferation of nuclear weapons treaty, and this treaty's main motto is to prevent spread of nuclear weapons. This treaty says that, I already told, that no nuclear power states, nuclear powered countries will not assist any non-nuclear powered country to acquire nuclear weapons in future. Okay, so this treaty is signed by 190 countries. India, Pakistan, Israel and South Sudan. These four countries never signed this treaty. India, Pakistan and Israel never signed, and South Sudan just this country was created in 2011 only, and they also didn't sign this treaty. Okay, North Korea signed this treaty, but they never complied, and later they withdrew from this treaty. Okay, so currently there are only five countries: India, Pakistan, Israel, South Sudan and North Korea, who are out of this treaty, who are not the signatories of this treaty. Okay, five countries officially recognized as nuclear powered countries. So these five countries officially recognized as nuclear powered countries. Okay, so these five countries, they actually developed nuclear weapons before signing this treaty in 1968. These five countries developed nuclear weapons before signing NPT in 1968. So which are these countries? They are USA, Russia, China, UK and France. These five countries were allowed, better to say, they allowed themselves to keep their nuclear arsenal intact. Okay, and actually they are increasing their nuclear arsenal in recent years. Okay, next, three countries have tested nuclear bombs after this NPT came into force. Three countries, they tested nuclear bombs after this NPT, and they declared that they are nuclear powered states. Okay, so these three countries were India, Pakistan and North Korea. India, Pakistan and North Korea. And Israel is believed to have nuclear weapons, but they have maintained neither confirm nor deny policy. Okay, so this makes a total of 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9. So total 9 countries in the world have nuclear weapons right now. Okay, so this is exactly where the concern of Russia and China comes. So this is where they are raising issue that how come Australia is getting nuclear powered submarines from USA. Okay, next, New Zealand, Malaysia and Indonesia have indicated more muted discomfort. Obviously New Zealand, Malaysia, Indonesia, they are also countries in the South China Sea region. Okay, they are also Asia Pacific countries, and nobody likes when their neighbor gets an advanced weaponry. Whether you have a very good relationship with that neighbor or not, whether you are an alliance or not, it doesn't matter, but none of the countries like when their neighboring countries get something related to nuclear. Okay, so obviously New Zealand, Malaysia and Indonesia, they are not liking it, but they are not a vocal critic of this one, and that's why they are showing muted discomfort. Okay, India has not reacted yet, in part due to the fact that the AUKUS countries have no doubt kept New Delhi briefed. Why India has not reacted? The number one reason is Australia getting these nuclear power submarines. Ultimately, the reason for that, or the motto behind this, is to keep a check on China in South China Sea, and India also wants that. Okay, and India does not like China's growing influence in this Asia Pacific region. So there is no problem with India if there is any such pact, or if there is any such military alliance forms, when that is the main objective of that alliance is to counter China. India does not have any problem in that. Okay, India actually likes it. The second thing is, India is itself a part of Quad. What is Quad? The Quadrilateral Summit. India, USA, Australia and Japan is the these four countries form, which is mainly formed to keep a check on China in this Indo-Pacific region. So India is part of Quad, Australia is also part of Quad, and then again Australia has formed this AUKUS. So there is no point to raise. There is no issue India has in that. Okay, and the third is, India itself is a nuclear country. India itself has nuclear weapons. India has nuclear powered submarine. So India is not bothered about it. Okay, India's main focus is that China should be contained. China should be the growing ambition of China, that should be checked in this Asia Pacific region, and this AUKUS will help India to ensure that one. That's why India is not bothering about this deal anymore. Okay, for New Delhi, which has always seemed hesitant to explore more strategic and defense aspects in the Quad, AUKUS gives it a breather in the Indo-Pacific military calculus. Exactly what I said. India is a member of Quad, but the fact is, till now, India has not been able to actively express its commitment towards this grouping. The main objective behind forming Quad was countering China's growing political and military ambition in Asia Pacific region. So, what was China's response? Obviously, China was a strong critic of this grouping from the very beginning. It can also be said that recent Chinese aggression in Galwan Valley and across LAC is primarily intended to keep India on tab, and a reciprocal response of India's Quad joining. So considering all these factors, it comes as a relief to India that this AUKUS grouping is formed with the same goal of deterring China in the Indo-Pacific region, just like Quad. And even though India is not a member of this AUKUS grouping, still the outcome of this formation and subsequent military activities can ultimately fulfill India's desired objective to keep China under pressure in this region. Okay, I hope you get it. India, as a voice for the global south, must do what it can to ensure that the announcement does not exacerbate already sharp divides between US-led alliances and the Russia-China combined, and proves to be a deterrent rather than accelerating global conflict instead. The world has been polarized in an unprecedented way since last year, which was never before witnessed in last few decades at least. In one hand, Russia's aggression against Ukraine is still going on. The US and other European countries are consistently backing Ukraine, whether it is militarily or it is financially. Okay. On the other hand, the diplomatic relationship between US and China has stooped to a new low. All these factors are forming new power equations across the globe, and the divide between these two groupings. These two grouping means one is this US-led alliances, and the other grouping is Russia, China, then Belarus. So the divide between these two groupings is getting wider day by day. The global south, which includes Middle East, Asia, Oceania, African countries, Latin American countries. So most of these countries have expressed it very clearly in last 1 year that they are not ready to ally with either of these groupings. Being an important voice in global south, India should keep balance in this geopolitical headwind and should rather work towards brokering peace between nations rather than acting as a catalyst in the global power conflict. So if you liked my analysis, then please subscribe my channel, share my videos, and please comment what kind of content I should create. Okay, how can I improve my content? It will motivate me to create more such videos. Thank you all.